And we're live. Welcome, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I hope everyone is excited after a week and a half of thinking, talking, creating custom inputs. I know I'm excited.
We're super excited, Brian.
Would you say that you're hype? Excitement?
Hype.
Totally hype.
Excited.
Yeah.
Stoked. Pumped.
I need to pull up thesaurus.com and input hype and see what we get. So yeah, welcome everyone to the culmination of the Sanity Custom Input Component Challenge. We've had some awesome submissions come in. We're going to showcase a few of them, and then we're also going to give away some swag to our amazing contributors that have kind of come in over the past week and a half. But maybe you don't know what we've been doing for the past week and a half. We know. Some people in chat probably know, but let's take a little look at the Custom Input Challenge and talk about what that is. So this is the lovely blog post that we shared. The Custom Input Challenge is something that we put forth to the community to say, Sanity is a platform for making a customized editing experience in so many ways with your data. What can you do with the APIs that we've given you that can make your editors' lives easier, make your life easier as a developer, be humorous and funny, create cool previews. We've showcased a couple things throughout the week on how to do that, but we really wanted to see what the community would come up with. We offered some prizes. So every single person that submitted a contribution in the past week and a half to sanity.io/exchange is going to get one of our 3 times quota plans for one of their projects. So in the coming days, if you have submitted a contribution, you'll be hearing from one of us here on the screen, one of the DevRels at Sanity, to get a project ID from you that we can add a custom plan to, that you can get 3 times your requests and bandwidth and what is it, Knut? I can't remember.
I think this is the API things.
All the API things. Nice. As well as 5 lucky winners today will get a Sanity t-shirt. So we'll be doing a raffle here in a few minutes that is built on a Grok query that is going to be run via the Sanity CLI. So we'll showcase all of that here in a little bit. And then 1 contributor will win the grand prize, which is the swag pack, which is the appreciation plan, the Sanity sticker pack, which Cap was showing the Sanity stickers in there, a Sanity t-shirt, and a Sanity hoodie. So basically everything that's in our store right now, you get one of. So that's awesome. And should be a lot of fun to see when you get it. Be sure to share it in the community and all that good stuff. So yeah, I think that's all the ado that I have before we can dive in and take a look at some of the contributions. Right? Any other ados that we want to talk through?
I just want to mention the swag robe, but it isn't this part of the swag pack, so that might not be helpful. But
excuse me, hold on.
There we go.
I was like,
let me get comfy.
I don't have mine next to me.
This is what happens when you work in the basement. Okay.
Yeah, this is.
Oh, it's inside out.
It's inside out. I was like, faded. It's faded already. No.
All right. Anyway, this super cush on the back, it even saes we don't have
show the back.
Behind the swag store. Yeah. Sanity on the back.
This is so exclusive. I don't have it.
You don't have yours yet?
No.
Oh no.
Oh.
I think I need to make a custom input component to maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
This could have been a prize, but it isn't.
It is not, but as we go forward, we'll probably do some more things like this, and let's maybe there will be some custom swag that you can get as well. So stay tuned for all of that.
And don't forget, if you ever have like a swag idea, the swag store has like a idea spot.
That's an excellent point.
I think it's store.sanity.io, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have this little edit button, which might look like the studio. It doesn't actually let you add a piece of swag, but it does let you submit an idea for creating a piece of swag. And we do look in on those because we're always looking for interesting things to be able to give out.
Swag
We should
socks.
do patches for all of our challenges.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That is an excellent idea.
And a Sanity sewing kit.
Yes.
Iron-on.
Yes.
Iron-on patches.
Iron. You have to collect it. Okay.
Okay. All right.
I don't know my patches, obviously.
Do you have to stitch
Yeah.
an iron-on?
I just know hot fixes.
Yeah.
That's a joke.
I don't know. I always stitch mine,
Wow.
but that's because they're on like a jean jacket.
Well, sure. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any patches on anything that I own. I should. I have at least 2 that I've gotten from conferences. Anyway, let's talk about custom inputs, shall we? So
Yes.
in the Sanity Exchange, sanity.io/exchange, we have a whole bunch of different community contributed taxonomies, if you will. One of which is the schema and the snippet taxonomy. Many of the submissions that we're going to look at today exist inside of this and are fully copy and pastable into your studios to work. So a few of them are in here. We also had a couple people submit some plugins, which is excellent, and you can find those in the tools and plugins section. But let's talk about a few of the amazing things that have been submitted. I have a studio set up where I have actually brought in, this is the basic blog starter from the CLI, and I've created my own new schema that's just specifically for showing off these custom inputs. But I figured we would start with our first submission, which actually happened on stream during the kickoff of the Custom Input Challenge. Annie Pinnell, community member in the Slack community as well as in the Exchange, submitted a custom string input that takes a string of a color value, a hex value, and then brings back a preview of that in real time as you type. So here's a lovely orange. I don't remember any of the cool ones that were submitted in chat while we previewed this last week, but any hex value you can add in here will show immediately for your editors so they know that they're not going to add, say, FF9999. And I don't know, that's not too bad. But
Yeah, that's a nice
color.
pink.
Yeah. There's FF
Salmon.
Dead. Who said that one last time? Someone did.
oh yeah, FF Dead.
Yeah, that's also like a coral or pink or something.
Yeah. And then I don't know if inspired by Annie's work, we have from Thomas Kim a random color generator input. It can take any format color and showcase it much like Annie's did. So we could say red, we could say blue, we could say
Tomato.
FF Dead. Tomato is actually one of my favorite CSS
Yeah.
colors. I pair tomato with light blue quite often, and they work well together.
That's a good
But-
combo.
Let's say you don't know a color, or maybe you're putting together something that needs some random generation for the color scheme. Thomas came in and created a generate button that generates the color on the fly based on options presented in the schema. So in the schema, you can see here all the ones we're going to showcase today. I've imported them from our components file, but there's actually a package called Random Color that has a whole bunch of options that you could have. It's a React package. You can get it off of NPM. And then you can specify things like luminosity, the format you want the data to come back as well as like the alpha. And you can also put hue in here so you can actually control, like only allow it in like red hues, blue hues. I don't remember all the options. You can see this live on the Sanity Exchange to see some of the examples that Thomas put together. But it is basically always going to generate a slightly transparent color. I specified RGBA as the value I wanted to come back in, and then that will end up posting. So I can just, until I find a color that I like, I can do this. Or I could come in, and if I wanted to make sure that the alpha was a little bit better and easier to see, I can specify 0.75 for that transparency layer, reloads, and then we can generate some brighter colors with a little less opacity.
I like this kind of like people building on each other, if that was the case. And I can imagine kind of like someone building up this to be kind of like advanced in color random input thing that saves all the different formats to the object or something.
Yeah, so this is a custom string. It could very easily be taken from this, and then a custom object input could be created that generates all the data that you can use in your front end in whatever way you need to.
You can even build it out like a random color palette thing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And like make sure that you always have a like maybe a couple of colors that pair well together from a design perspective, a couple of colors that pair well together from an overlay perspective, like a background, foreground. Yeah, you can, and then you could actually like have maybe an options object that lets you define what options of those you want. Like, do I want the whole color palette? Do I want a single color? Do I want complementary, compound? Like maybe you can even go in that direction.
Advanced Random Color Pro.
Now available on the Sanity Exchange. So yeah, so that is, let's actually pull that one up. You can come here and we have random color input. All I had to do to make this work was I created a file. I named it exactly what Thomas said to name it, randomcolor.jsx. And then I grabbed this field and I put it into my schema. And I had a random color generator. So super handy to have around. Comment in chat, it would be awesome if it could also give accessibility contrast test scores too. Like totally another really awesome idea for the advanced random color generator object pro 2.53 awesome 2000. Yeah, like that is an amazing idea. Totally could do that. Basically anything you want to do with that data you can do, and there's an API out there that exists for color contrast checking. So super awesome.
Wave has one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's WAI.
Wave. I think
Wave.
it's made
Nice.
by WAI though.
Very cool. All right. So next up is the custom numeric input. So this is a number input, which is going to give you a ton of options that allow you to specify how it gets displayed to your editors, but it does not change the number that gets saved into your data. So your data can look like exactly like a float or an integer, but we get to showcase what it's going to end up looking like on the front end to our editors. So right now we have a euro here, and we could say this is 5 euros and 5.4 euros. Or we could say it's 500 million, but
That's a lot of euros.
it is a lot of euros. And I'm
Rich.
American, and I get a little confused because we do our commas and our decimals differently. Our thousands separator is the comma.
Yeah, you have
and
imperial commas, right?
I mean, it's a long story. It's a hundreds-year-old story. I can't get into right now. But yeah. But let's say our editors are American. We can prefix this with a $. We could say that our decimal separator is a period, and that our thousand separator is a comma. I can save that in, rebuild it, and here it is with the proper placement for my commas and the decimal. The $sign is prefixed, so my editors get a view of what they are looking for in that.
I wonder if I'm here to kind of ideate on the work that already has been done, and I can imagine this to be included in a currency input component that calls an API to kind of convert the thing to another currency, because that conversion you just did kind of irritated me.
I know they're not equal, but think about this. We could do localization. I mean, you could make the input do the localization, and that's like Galaxy Brain, right? But
yeah,
maybe this becomes an object with localized fields, and then worst case scenario, you just change your options and your editors get the localized schema for the way that should look. But totally currency custom input, 100%. Someone needs to get on that and post it in the community. That'll be amazing.
Is it just me? I'm surprised no one submitted a crypto input.
Yeah. Is it an input that uses the background process of your browser to mine cryptocurrency? Oh,
yes.
No good. I might have to veto something like that. I don't know. Can I take off the robe? Do y'all think? It's a little warm.
Brian.
Yeah, you can take off the robe.
I got the hoodie on underneath.
Leave your hat on? I don't know.
So yeah, so that one also available at sanity.io/exchange as the advanced numeric input from Fabian. So that is an awesome one to look at. Next up, we have one of our later contributions from Alexandra. So we did a live stream last week where we built a Twitter generator idea, but I don't know if Alexandra's taking inspiration from that and taking a step further, but this one is definitely a step further. You can author your tweet. So come join us in the Sanity, I can't spell, custom input challenge. And you can see that my validation rule is being checked on the fly to make sure I stay within character limits for Twitter. But then in the example that Lauren and I put together last week, there was a button that copied it to your clipboard, and that's awesome, and that's like super handy. This, however, there is something called Twitter intents, and there are links that you can pass information to spawn a pop-up to do the tweet. So I clicked that, and here it is. Come join us in this Sanity Custom Input Challenge, ready to go.
That's awesome.
Right?
So cool.
But that's not all. That's not all that's included in this. So what happens if you have nothing and you click the button? You might be sad when you pop up a Twitter pop-up and have nothing in it. I'd be sad. That's something I have to close down and was a worthless click. Alexander doesn't want that to be the case for you. Using the toast component from Sanity UI must contain summary for the tweet. So we have validation on like save, right? On the publish idea, like make sure you can't publish a document if a field is not filled in. But since this is not a publish event, this is just this random click event that we have, we want to make sure that we validate that too. So we have a custom toast pop-up.
That's
super
very
handy.
useful.
Awesome.
This is a very useful component.
I really dig it. It is the tweet summary snippet that you can
came
find.
Just before the stream now, right?
It was about like an hour and a half ago, but yeah,
Wow.
it was on the last day, and I think it is a lovely custom input.
Yeah.
So next up, we have Kevin Green, who I would say is a Sanity Power user and has created a Sanity Power user component. So you can use an array of references to add one at a time multiple articles or really anything else to your array. I can come in here, click add. I can say, all right, add a post, go search for that post. It's fine, it works. But what if you like Grok? I know Lauren and Cap like Grok. I'm pretty sure Knut likes Grok. I love Grok. Yeah.
It's okay.
What if you could use a Grok query and then automatically put all the documents that get returned by that Grok query into this array?
No, you can't. That's impossible.
No, that doesn't sound like a thing. That can't be a thing. Well, we can toggle a custom query here. We can give it a Grok query. We'll do a simple one. We'll just say this is any document of type article, post, I think. Run the query. There are 2 items that match that query. They are over here. Let me just confirm. We have 2 posts, second and test post. I bet that just deleted my query. Let's see. Okay, no, it's still there. Excellent. Persists. Okay. run the query, have 2 items. There's still some hard-coded values in here, and Kevin does a lot of Shopify work, and all of these were on like product variants. But I can add these 2 items.
Whoa.
And magically, there they are. I could theoretically also say, I don't actually have any other data in this. I really should have. But yeah, so instead of this, let's delete these. And let's say, actually, oops. I probably set up my schema wrong on that. But I do want to come over here and grab maybe an ID or something I can easily grok without fumbling around a little bit. Let me grab the ID. And let's say you knew an ID or a range of categories or something along those lines. We could come in and toggle the custom query and search for that. And also the ID is equal to the ID that I just grabbed. Or you could search for titles. You could search for every article added by an author, or Kevin's example in the snippet is to look for any title of a product that starts with a specific string, that matches a specific string. So I could actually do like post match the title and make sure that it has the word post as the title. If I can run this query, there's 1 item, and I can add that 1 item. So it could be super handy for doing bulk updates on these things. There's also the ability to replace the products. I don't exactly know what that functionality does. I didn't explore that deep into it, but it sounds like that would actually, it would probably find the key and replaces that key with whatever was in the other one. I'm not entirely sure on that. But
wait, can you click it and see what happens?
Well, it added it.
Weird.
2 buttons. Click 1.
Get rid of the ID and do just type post and then run the replace.
Okay, so we'll delete this one.
Keep those.
Oh, okay. So delete this ID.
Yeah, replace.
Something to play with and play around with. There's a lot of interesting code that Kevin wrote in there that is definitely worthy of inspection and further development and fun. And I love that Kevin put in here, learn about queries via the Sanity cheat sheet. So Kevin loves linking to documentation in his components. So we'll close that custom query. And I want to take a look at one more example. And there are more that have been added. Again, you can check those out at sanity.io/exchange. But this advanced references, or I guess it's not advanced, it's more of a different UI for adding a reference by Karen Hendricksa. So I can actually come in and I get this pop-up instead of the standard reference edition. And I can do searches based on that are live searches. And I can add those in this pop-up. So if I had multiple pieces of data here, I could filter based on all of that. The search field is a live search field currently that's populating via a grok query inside the code. And then I can select one of those items and it pops right in. So if you're not like a huge fan of coming in and doing this way, this is a different UI, which is a super cool way of thinking about custom inputs. It's not just changing your data. It can also be like knowing your editors and making the experience that you know that they will like, or just augmenting the experience that you want to have as well. So it's really cool to see people kind of thinking outside of the box of pieces that come as default with Studio and putting together kind of their own spins and takes on everything.
Yeah. It would be really cool to have like a select all after you do the search, and then it would just populate all of them at the same time.
Definitely, yeah. Like have a button up here. It could even be like select all, and then have a secondary button that would be like add what has been selected to it.
Exactly.
These are great.
Yeah, so awesome.
Can't hear you.
I hit mute.
Oh.
What I was saying, I can also see kind of like a more pronounced edit button, which might be kind of like you might want to edit a thing before referencing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this editing like second post? Like, would it take you to it or open up?
Yeah. What
so
will happen?
It takes you to it. I just So there are a couple of hard-coded pieces of this, and I haven't gone too far down.
There's a double desk. There's a double desk. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that is the intent of that edit button. It does pass our intent URLs, but there is maybe a format issue there to make sure that it's not getting that.
Granted, we gave people kind of like less than a week-ish.
Small time frame.
Yeah. And it's always possible to clean out bugs in the community studio, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, all these are so useful, and like I already see how personally I could use all these. So great work, everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And this is
awesome.
about half the ones that were submitted. So there are more to go look at. There are a couple of custom plugins. There are some custom inputs that we didn't talk about today. They are all hanging out at sanity.io/exchange. So there's things like there's a conditional field that fires a Boolean that shows and hides certain fields that you specify in your options. Some custom header components, Vimeo and YouTube thumbnails that get brought in for extra preview. A lot of awesome stuff that is in there. And also something I wanted to mention is that in our Slack community, slack.sanity.io to sign up, we have a I made this channel where you can go and manually share anything that you make. But if you put something into the community studio, community.sanity.studio, you can automatically have that go into the I made this channel. And also when you do that, we get notified that we want to add it to our Exchange Twitter account. So if you're not regularly in the Slack community, which I would encourage you to be, you can follow the Twitter account and get notified when there are new custom inputs, guides, starters, plugins, anything that comes into the studio can come out onto this Twitter feed. And it is sanity_exchange. And that's going to be where you can find out all the cool things that are coming out, including some of the schemas we talked about today. New article came out from one of our solutions engineers, Simeon, who's a longstanding member of the community as well. A lot of cool things that come across that Twitter feed. So definitely check that out. But I'll bet, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong on this, I'll bet there's some people who want to know if they won some swag.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Oh yeah. I also want to say one quick thing. If you can go back to your studio.
Absolutely.
If you combine Annie's and Thomas's custom input components and you have your like company's color, like we definitely want to have FF dead, then you can generate like what colors look good with this, like visually. And so you can have the two next to each other and they can work together. Yep.
They're like you can tell visually very, very quickly if you like the look of those colors together, as opposed to having to like go to separate documents. And in Thomas's example, there's actually like it's a brand schema that's kind of like this is like the one field in it, but like you could definitely expand that out to be here are all the complementary colors of the brand in the brand schema.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's a really good use case.
This is that studio we were just working on. But let's go ahead and take a look. This is inside of the Sanity Community Studio. This is a script that I modified and finished out this morning based on a script from our lovely support engineer, Peter, for the old random swag script that we had for when we gave away random swag on stream. But this one is a focused, laser precise script.
I must arrest you though, Brian. It wasn't random swag. It was super specific swag for random or not random people. It feels unfair to call them random.
Sure. Yeah.
Randomly handed out specific swag for awesome people. There we go. Yeah.
I like it. We can make that
swag.
the brand. Yeah. That's like trademark after that. That's perfect. So a few things, just so y'all know how this is being run. This is going to be coming from the client that is in the studio. We set the API version, otherwise we'd get a warning in the console, and that wouldn't be very good looking just on stream. So I went ahead and this is the latest version that just launched on Monday with all the new roles and a whole bunch of other cool stuff added. We, of course, are using JavaScript for our random number generation. So I do apologize for the fact that math and JavaScript might not be like super random, but hopefully random enough. And then we have a query, and the query is complex because the Community Studio is complex, but this is going to match any contribution type. So this could be the schemas, it could be the plugins, it could technically be a guide. I probably could have regulated that a little bit. It's going to make sure that it has a title. It's going to make sure that it's not a draft. It's going to make sure that there's at least one author on it. And then it's going to check to see if the contest ID is in the reference array of contests. This is the custom input challenge reference ID, the ID for that document. And then we're going to make sure that Canute can't win and that other Sanity folks can't win, because that, like, we wouldn't let that happen, but like, let's let technology handle that for us. And then as people win, I'm going to add their names to this array so that we have one winner per thing, and we don't just get that person again and again and again. So to run this script, what we do is we use the Sanity exec command. We tell it what JavaScript file to run. I'm also going to use the with user token so that it runs it as me inside of the studio. So I guess like fake drum roll, if you please.
Can you hear that?
Totally can. Big enough. And let's get our first winner of a Sanity t-shirt. We'll do the Sanity t-shirts and then the grand prize. Alexandra. Nice.
Yeah.
So again, for the tweet summary that we mentioned, so we'll reach out in the in Slack community and get you a coupon code to get one of the amazing Sanity t-shirts ready for you.
I think Alexandra is even here in the chat room.
So I hope you are excited.
Yay!
Yay! Awesome.
Yay, indeed.
Yay, indeed. So let's see if my thinking on this is correct, and that I can just add a string to the beginning of that array. All right, shirt number 2. Fabian for the advanced numeric input. So so that awesome euro versus American dollar. I suppose I should probably open up a note and keep track of all this, but I suppose it's live on stream, so I can always check it.
We have it on tape. Right.
It is on tape. It will be easy for me to go back and get it. All right.
Oh, cute. My 2 daughters are here cheering me too. Yay, yay.
Oh.
That's so fun.
We should put something in for them too, right?
I bet we can do that. I bet we can handle something along those lines.
I just realized I typed congratulations JS.
That we should make that. We should just throw confetti on the screen.
I'm
That is
running
what
to
the
get the
script is
domain.
named, right?
So our third t-shirt winner is going to be Arjun, who is on stream or in chat for the first stream, but submitted a couple different custom components, but specifically for their heading custom component, which actually allows you to specify in your schema like a heading to break up your editor's interface in maybe some more streamlined ways. So congratulations. We'll get that t-shirt coupon code. All right, number 4, I think we're at now.
Yeah.
Something happened there. Apparently my array is not filtering out. But
did you save?
Well, did I save? Seems like I did. VS Code isn't telling me any that little dot that usually appears up there. All right, Kevin Green for the Grok reference lookup and add and replace.
Our live human linter, Peter, just said that we have 2 queries.
Peter,
That's true. Yeah.
you are absolutely 100% correct. So one query is here to get the count. As you can see, here's the query that says count. That's what a random number generator is using as its max. So I've actually been changing the count. So let's make sure the authors line up down here. Thanks, you, Peter. Human linter. And let's make sure this lines up at the top one. All right.
You know,
so t-shirt number 5.
We could have used query params, I guess.
Yeah. Hindsight and 2020 and all that, right? Bonus challenge. How can we do this more efficiently? Yeah, totally. Let's see how we can do this more efficiently, and maybe the community can give us some ideas around that as well. We could. Yeah. This could be a custom input. I should have made a custom input that did this. Number 5. The Sanity plugin HTML to portable text, which is a.
Yeah, I was just to say this is a cool one. Yeah.
So this one is a plugin that you install, and it creates a custom input that can accept HTML and then unserialize, what we call it? Unserialize the HTML into portable text. I guess it's serialized either way.
Deserialize, maybe?
Deserialize. It takes HTML and in another input spits out portable text. And vice versa, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it goes both ways. And it does it live. As you're like typing out your HTML, it does its best to generate the portable text into a portable text field. Super handy for like coming from a more traditional content platform where you have your WYSIWYG editor spitting out HTML and you just want to quickly bring like a blog post over, maybe not do an import on everything, and add that in as well. So let me add Hans to both of our queries. And then I think it's time for the grand prize.
Yeah. Grand prize again is sticker pack, t-shirt, and hoodie.
It's the mother load, let's say. It's the mother load.
Yeah.
So, Cap, can I get another one of those desk drum rolls? Because it was great before.
Of course. Huh?
Annie, with our first entrant.
Right on.
Love it. So Annie, we'll be sending you a message in the community about how to get this. Again, all these are going to be coupon codes that we'll give you that will allow you to get what it is we have promised. And then in the coming days, we'll reach out to everyone that contributed to bring together the appreciation plan for the 3x quota. So if you have a project in mind that you want to make sure gets a 3x quota, have that project ID handy, and we'll add that quota in. So, right. Yeah, I hope everyone has had a good time, like learning custom inputs and creating some interesting things. I've enjoyed watching it, I know.
Yeah, and these ideas that you have all thought of and brought to life, fantastic. Great job, everyone.
Yeah, and I think like the custom inputs are useful in themselves, but I think like going into kind of like schema and snippets and look at the code that people have written and learn from that and see all the cool things you can do, that is super helpful. So I hope people will continue sharing like this, even though there might not be a swag carrot at the end of it, but there will certainly be more things like this, right? Contests and raffles and whatnot.
Exactly. Yes. And just know that as you share these things, they automatically get shared in the community. So I personally am sometimes driven by accolades. I think we all sometimes get that feeling. And I love when Lauren's laughing at me. It's great. I can't help it. I'm self-aware enough to know that, I suppose. But
and you know, by making an awesome custom input component, you can actually make a lot of people's lives better, and like people who actually work with content, right? So yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be big.
It's good to know your motivators.
Yeah. And helping people, that's great. Like Knut said, helping people is awesome. But totally, so keep submitting awesome stuff. And the great thing is, like, we can all talk and figure out cool extensions to anything that gets submitted into that, and we can all work together to make the Sanity ecosystem kind of as a whole a really cool place to be, a really helpful place to be, and yeah. Cool. So we'll see everyone in the community, and be on the lookout for those DMs as we go forward. And we'll also probably share the winners in the announcements channel once I write up an announcement post about it to share that. Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. We should have kind of like an outro tune, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I know.